Jackie Marie Kristi, when she was talking about Denise and she said, little girl, go play with something safe. Bitch.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Please stop shaking, stand. Anyway, all right, Basketball Wives, season 12, episode 8, popping off. Okay, excuse me, I drank an energy drink with too much carbonation. Sorry about that. All right, so we open with the ladies doing their boss business thing. Jennifer is finishing up some voiceover for a movie that she's doing. Jackie meets with her team about her talk show, the Jackie Kristi show that she's been working on for a while now. Evelyn threw a little shade about that later on in the episode. She's been working on it for 10 years. A lot of projects take a long time. So it is what it is. At least she's doing something. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, and we meet up with Brandee and her, I can't remember if it was her assistant or business partner. But anyway, so they meet up because, you know, she's pursuing her spices, and as well as her cook. She did release a cookbook and she's doing her spice line, and, you know, she's doing her thing. And she's actually going to be having an event later at this soul food restaurant downtown featuring her spices in the dishes. And I think they picked catfish and shrimp, which is kind of awesome. So good for her. But anyway, so her and her business partner assistant, they're talking about who they're going to invite to the dinner and the tasting, who she's going to invite. She's basically inviting everybody but Evelyn. They're not good. Of course, they flash back to last episode with her and Evelyn kind of having it out at the crystal shop, where Evelyn wanted to buy crystals for the wildfire victims. Anyway, you know what? Asia, stop. I'm gonna stop. So in that scene, Brandee's like, I know that she doesn't really, you know, take me seriously. She says that later on in the episode as well. But she's like, and they show Evelyn saying, you know, I don't have a fuck to give or whatever. But the other thing too is Brandee mentions that she didn't like what Evelyn was saying to Chantel about Jackie. So they flash back. Evelyn basically was suggesting that Chantel not speak to Jackie like ever again. And then Jackie saying like, I think that would be the best decision for Chantel. You don't even know Chantel like that. And who are you to tell somebody not to speak to their parent ever again? Who are you to do that? Because we know you would lose your whole entire mind if somebody said that to Shanice. Lose your whole entire mind. The fact that you would even suggest that, and you were comfortable enough to say that shit on camera. Evelyn, you ain't shit. You're like super whack. That was so whack. Like, talk about hypocrite. The reality, you know what's funny? Here's what's funny about Evelyn and Jackie. They're the fucking same. Y'all are the same. You both shit on each other's motherhood because the reality is both of y'all ain't very good parents. You both ain't shit. Look at the fruits of your loins. Look what's going on with them. You got one daughter pregnant, had a baby by the game, who has not one, but 2 SA allegations against him and lawsuits that he both lost, by the way. And then the other one gets on a TV show. And you know what I'm starting to believe too? Chantel gets on this TV show and it's literally a giant cry for help, which shows you how fucking creepy Jackie Kristi really is. That your daughter is now on the same show as you and is bringing y'all's issues to the forefront because she needs you to respond to her. That's some crazy shit. I'm on the fence with that, but that's some crazy shit. My whole point of that whole rant and diatribe is that y'all are similar. You're the same. You're very similar to each other. You both are shitty ass parents. Shitty fucking parents. Bad decision. The only difference is, Jackie, you're married. That's the only difference. But I don't believe Doug even lived with her, but that's a whole other conversation because I'm like, where's Doug? He's always in Sacramento. Whatever. Even on her Instagram, where's Doug? Except for anniversary. Anyway, whatever. But I'm sorry, that shit with Evelyn pissed me off though. Like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Anyway, so later on, Evelyn, Ming, and Brittany Renner meet up. They talk about the Ming and Ty shit. I'll have to agree with Evelyn on this one that Ty and Ming are very toxic. They're toxic. For Ming to lie to Ty and say that she has a boyfriend is a way to like get her off of her. And then in Ty's confessional, she's like, she's making it seem like I'm a stalker. I'm not that pressed on her. Like, that was weird. It's like really lame cat and mouse. And I feel like y'all are too grown for that, but whatever. This can't be the other storyline for the show because please, this is ridiculous. Anyway, so we're going to jump over to Jackie Kristi is having on her talk show. She's doing a dating segment, basically a pop the balloon. And she has Evelyn, Ty, and Ming and Denise as contestants. So this was actually a fun little segment, but it revealed a lot about Denise. Yes, it did. So Evelyn actually has a good So Evelyn's segment, it was weird because it was like two hosts because it was Jackie hosting her show and then the guy was the host of like the Pop the Balloon segment. I thought Jackie would have been more involved with that since it's her show. But nevertheless, the shit was funny. The co-host guy was hilarious, asking Evelyn how many inches. She said 7. Is that good? And he was like, not for me. Ty, they had Ty blindfolded because Jackie wanted Ty to feel the energy of the woman versus picking the baddest bitch. That was kind of funny. She ended up having to pick between a married woman in a polyamorous relationship and the other chick who was not monogamous. Interesting. I don't even remember Ming's segment, but I do remember Denise's. So Denise basically wasn't feeling any of the dudes in her confessional. She's like, I'm just going... I'm just here, whatever. So the producer's like, are you purposely sabotaging the dating segment? And she's like, well, I'm just here to support my girls because she doesn't like Jackie. She's pretty much made it clear she's not really into Jackie. And she definitely does later on in this episode. But she's like, so I'm just basically sabotage mode. So one of the questions they ask her is, what's your deal breaker? And she says... I don't know. I've never really thought about that. So like a few guys pop their balloons. So back in her confessional, she's like, yeah, this whole segment's dumb. The questions are dumb or the questions are stupid. So a question asking you your deal breaker in a relationship is a stupid question. And the fact that you didn't know is a stupid answer. So who's the stupid one? Anyway, so that jumped out at me. So you got a lot of gumption, Miss Denise, a whole lot of gumption. So anyway, after the dating segment's over, they're all sitting in the back. Jackie's not with them yet. And Ty mentions Jackie talking about Shanice. All she says is, yeah, Jackie mentioned she loves your daughter, but there's a bone that she doesn't want to carry. So of course, Evelyn hears my daughter. So she's like, once again, she's weaponizing my daughter. So Jackie comes out, of course, oblivious to the conversation that's being had. So she kind of walks right into it. She's asking the ladies, how they like the segment, blah, blah, blah. Ty basically is like, it was fun. I got a dip. She leaves. So she drops this bomb and then walks out. Hilarious. So Jackie sits down and Evelyn's like, is there anything you want to tell me? And Jackie's like, no. Jackie's like, is there anything you want to tell me? So Shanice brings up, you were talking about my daughter, and she's like, no, I wasn't. I love your daughter, but the bone has nothing to do with Shanice. Yes, it does, Jackie. Jackie, you definitely alluded to the girls that the bone involved Shanice because you said you were surprised that she showed up at that charity thing. So girl, stop. So you're lying to her face about that, but okay. Maybe that's because you don't want to drop the bone because that was her whole thing. Is at the right time, at the right time. So anyway, they go back and forth. Evelyn brings up Chantel because Jackie mentions that Brandee told her about what was being said about the interaction with Chantel and Brittany back in Vegas. And Jackie's whole thing is, I want you guys to stop talking about it and stop bringing it up to me because I'm not talking about it. They get into a back and forth with that. Evelyn telling her that she needs to take accountability and apologize. Yes, but that's not your place to do that. And the reality is, in which we find out later on down the line, which I'm going to get to that scene next, is Chantel is the one that's fucking... Chantel, you were in 2 scenes in this episode, and you managed to stir the pot, and you were barely there. That's good for you. My goodness. So anyway, they're going back and forth. It's not going well. Jackie gets up and walks away. In Jackie's confessional, though, she's like, Evelyn over here talking about my motherhood, but let's talk about who the real prostitute is. She implies that Evelyn was doing $25 jobs while I guess to feed her family or whatever. That's my whole point. Them two are very similar. They meddle in everybody's business and they both have a lot of skeletons in the closet and then act brand new and a bone comes flying out. Okay, so she leaves, she walks off, she's done. So anyway, we get to Brandee's tasting dinner. And before everybody gets there, it's Ming, of course, Brandee, and I cannot remember who the third person is, but Chantel FaceTimes, basically thanks her for the invite. She's not coming. And once again, she's talking about her mom. You know, I don't feel comfortable because she won't take accountability. It's just the same old thing, blah, 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 blah. So she leaves. So anyway, everybody else gets there. Jackie comes in. They're all sitting around. First of all, the restaurant looked gorgeous in downtown. I need to look up where that was at. Makes me miss LA, but look gorgeous. But they're sitting on like these couches and they're tasting the food and they're eating and they're chatting. Evelyn sits down, so Brandee's thanking everybody for coming, and then she mentions Chantel not being there, and then Chantel called and starts talking about Jackie. Jackie picks up her phone and she's like, Dougie, yeah, did you turn the light on? Listen, Jackie done told y'all 6 ways from Sunday she does not want to discuss it. She doesn't want to discuss it. So Jackie's doing this whole deflection thing on the phone, which was hilarious. Ridiculous, but hilarious. So, of course, once she gets off the phone, Brandee is like, brings up the whole Chantel thing. Jackie's basically like, I'm not discussing it, blah, blah, blah. So Ming chimes in. Well, before that, Denise chimes in, and Denise is like, so are you on block? Are you still on block, basically? Jackie is irritated, and she's like, listen, you keep poking the bear. If I pop off, then y'all are going to get mad. And so Jennifer's like, I think we have to respect people's boundaries in this situation and not judge from, basically respect people's boundaries, respect people's wishes, implying if Jackie don't want to talk about it, she don't want to talk about it. And it's obvious she doesn't want to talk about it because it ends in a confrontation or an argument. So let's leave it alone. So Ming's like, okay, but you keep saying it's family when the family's the one that keeps bringing it back to everybody. And so she's like to Jennifer, what would you do in that situation when she's bringing us information about Jackie? So Jackie chimes in, well, let her, hear her out. So they start getting into it. Ming's whole thing is, I don't know what to do in that situation when she starts bringing it up. And the reality is, Chantel, you put everyone in this position to be like this. And it's funny that they're giving this energy to Jackie and not to Chantel. That's all I'm saying. Jackie may not have the best response, but Chantel, you the one that keep bringing it up to everybody and then having them deliver messages and shit. It's very childish. It's very silly. And bigger than that, it's a cry for help. It's a fucking cry for help. So, sorry that it's shaking. Jackie is annoyed with a little bit with everything, and she's giving Ming a lot of bad energy. And it kind of just, they don't really resolve anything, but Jackie lets it be known. Well, Jackie does say this, I'm sorry. She says, listen, she's still having an attitude with Ming, but she's like, I'm not discussing it if Chantel is not here. If she was sitting here in front of me with all of you, then we would talk about it. But I'm not doing it when she's not here. And then Ming's like, I get that. That's fair. So they're on the same page. The reality is, Chantel, you the one that keep bringing it to everybody. and keeping the pot stirring. Your mom is like, I'm not talking about it with any of you. And I totally get that, because it is painfully obvious there's serious deep-rooted issues between those two, and it's not going to get resolved in a group of fucking reality TV people. It's not. Like, it's not. And I totally get Jackie on this one. That being said, Jackie seems like she's a scary mommy. Anyway, I'll say this. Denise is trying to stake her claim on this show. I respect. You're an idiot, but respect. Respect that you're standing in your shit, but the shit you said about the dating show, I was like, girl, you sound slow. But apparently next week she explains why she no longer likes Evelyn. Anyway, happy Taco Tuesday. Stay hydrated and be nice to each other.